Hey guys, welcome to episode number 10 of the Derby Current Live, and to start off this episode we are going to be kicking it off with the game against Man United. A great way to kick off this episode and a great way to come back. I haven't actually uploaded this series in like a couple of weeks, and it's kind of frustrating because I really do enjoy doing this series, but I haven't had the proper time to sit down and do this series. But nevertheless, looking at the table, obviously we are in third, still many points from Man United. Even if we do win this game, we're still going to be like, like 13 points away from them. So it's a bit of a, I don't know, like we could win, but then even if we lose, it doesn't really matter either way. Just making it a little bit more interesting. It would be nice if we could beat Man United, but yeah, just looking at the goals, assists and clean sheets, Man United and us very near the top, of course. Looking at the other two games we're going to be playing in this episode, obviously we've got deadline day as well, so we are going to look to make some more signings. And yeah, we got West Brom and Liverpool in the FA Cup replay. That's going to be an interesting game, of course, to finish off the episode. But yeah, we're going to kick it off with the game against Man United at home. If we could get anything from this game, I think the Man United are one of the few teams that have actually beat us this season. There are a handful of teams, but yeah, Man United seem to be one of the tougher ones. So looking at our lineup, obviously Troy Deeney leading the line. Will Hughes in that holding midfield role with Harry Arter. I thought for this game, Harry Arter, I think there was a bit of a fitness issue with Jeff Hendrick, and I've actually enjoyed playing with Jeff Hendrick, but it's a bit of a shame he didn't have the fitness for this game. Looking at the Man United lineup then, as you can see, Paulo Dybala up front. I think they have just recently signed him in this window, but look at the bench here. Aubameyang, Lukaku and Harry Kane, all of them sat on the bench. No Ibrahimovic, of course. It's kind of crazy how good this Man United defence is, but we do get an early attack, we do get an early attack there with Man United. They do luckily not score, but then we do win a penalty here in the first 20 minutes of the match. Paulie P not doing that well defensively, taking down the championship as he has been called recently. I'm not too sure. I kind of want to just, like, nobody noticed Will Hughes because I want to stay him at the club. No Premier League sign has to sign him. He just stays at the club and everyone's happy. But we do obviously win the penalty there. A good opportunity for Troy Deeney to get a goal and start scoring some goals, because he has actually kind of struggled to get some goals, and obviously he does put that away quite nicely there to get us into the lead against Man United. A really important goal because they've got one of the best defences in the league, so going to be quite difficult to score against them. And then 10 minutes later, Troy Deeney does go down injured. It's one of those forced injury ones, so it does seem that he is going to be out for a while. I think it is around a month, maybe a little bit more. I'm not too sure. I think it's around the 4 to 7 weeks. So kind of annoying that we have just signed him in this January window and he's already injured. It's kind of frustrating. But we're going to go into the second half here. Ball through for Dybala, and it wasn't really the best to finish from the Argentinian. Not many chances for Man United in this game. I'll probably show you towards the end. Another chance here just into the side net in there with Joshua King, and then in the last minute Jamie Hansen somehow misses the target. But there it is, full time against Man United, getting the 3 points. I don't know, like Man United, for saying that they've got Aubameyang, Lukaku and Kane and somewhere Ibrahimovic, I'm not too sure if he's retired or not, but they only had 3 shots. It's kind of crazy how much money, I will show you, they have actually spent on those 3 players, because I think Lukaku was signed in the first season. But going into the deadline day now then, we do actually get a bid in for one of our players, and it is actually Chris Martin. Now, he's 29 years old, he's not going to be growing anymore, and I feel like there are quite a few interesting players on the transfer shortlists, such as Dwight Gale and Emre Moore and somebody else, Victor Anichebe from Sunderland. So we're going to put the loan deal here for Emre Moore. I don't really want to sign him because he's a bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a boring signing, a bit of an obvious signing that a lot of people probably do make on career mode. But at the same time, as he is such a low-rated player, I doubt there's not many players that do actually sign him on career mode. So we do put identical bids in for Anichebe and Dwight Gale, about 3.03 million. Also getting a bid in there for Alex Pearce on deadline day, just adding up that money a little bit more. As you can see, they do accept the transfer offers. We're going into the contract stages of these deals, and yeah, they're very similar in price. I thought I'd just give Anichebe the 5 more, that like give him the 40k, because if he's not happy with the 30k and join the club, then there's no real time to debate on what he really wants. So we go into the final hour of deadline day, I believe this is. We do put a few other bids in for some strikers, Moussa Dembele, Fernando Loriente and Patrick Bamford Assomba Longa. And as you can see, we go into the final day of deadline day, and in the past, on deadline day, if you put a contract in for a player, they would accept it by the next hour. So this year, it's actually changed. So I thought I'd be able to sign Victor Anichebe or Dwight Gale. Unfortunately, we didn't have the time to do that. So we sold Alex Pearce and Chris Martin, and we brought in Emre Moore. So a little bit of a frustrating deadline day, because I would have liked to actually bring in Victor Anichebe, like this big target man striker similar to Troy Deeney, but instead we had to bring in Emre Moore because he was one of the few lone striker options that were good enough for this team. Still happy with the deal that we did do for Emre Moore. I think it'll be interesting to see how he does in the Premier League. We are going to sign a couple of these youth players and release a couple that just weren't good enough, and yeah, give him an opportunity to play in the next cup game. But looking at Man United spending, Dybala 75, Harry Kane 61, and Aubameyang 50 mil. That's from the start of this season. Lukaku, I think he was around the 50 million mark as well. So in a matter of like a year, they've spent just under $250 million, maybe just around the $250 million mark. So kind of crazy for Man United, of course. But Cambu signing for Arsenal in this window as well. I think there was another one, Hamsik to Chelsea. I think he's a recent one. But most of these deals did happen in the last summer window. Maybe Origi to Spurs, I'm not too sure. But looking at our signings, obviously we brought in Emre Moore. It'll be interesting to see how he does. I don't think I haven't actually seen anyone sign Emre Moore because he is so low rated. He's kind of pointless. Like, you'd have to train him so much to get him to this stage. However, because we are a championship team going into the Premier League, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously 89 dribbling and 91 ball control. Not the strongest, but obviously with that dribbling ability, should be able to hold up the ball quite nicely. Harry Arter. Now, it does say he's departing the club because the way that we signed him, I think it said he signed a pre-contract signing with Stoke. As you can see here on the contract stage, it says when his contract expires, he's joining Stoke, but he's got a year and a half left on his contract. So I don't know if he's actually going to leave the club at the end of the year, or he's going to leave the club at the end of next year. I'm really not too sure what's going to happen with Harry Arter. I don't know if any of you guys have had this glitch, but we are going to go into the next game against West Brom. Not the most interesting game in the world, but we are going to be using a bit of a weaker team. I may try Emre Moore in this game just to see how he does, of course. So just before half time here, Bryson with the ball through to Hendrick, just on the edge of the box, takes the shot across goal. A beautiful strike from the Ireland international to make it 1-0 just before half time. Good to see Bryson and Hendrick in that midfield as well. Like, against West Brom, you need a bit more brute force, and those two together with the high work rate seem to do quite a nice job. Then into the last 5 minutes of the game here, ball into the box from Burke Elsnick with the header down to Johnny Russell with a beautiful volley into the back of the net. I think we were playing Russell maybe in behind the striker, maybe even at striker, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it was actually a really nice goal from Johnny Russell. I think we were actually playing Emre Moore up front, Johnny Russell just in behind, and it was actually a weaker foot volley from Johnny Russell to make it 2-0 in the game and to get the 3 points. So not the most interesting game in the world, only 2 shots for West Brom in the end, and we pick up the 3 points. So we're going to send our scout, our 5-star scout, back out. We're going to look for a big target man striker. Now, I wasn't too sure if I should put either attacker or physically strong, because obviously I want a target man. If I put attacker, will we just come up with loads of like short dribbly kind of strikers like Emre Moore, whereas I want a striker like Victor Anichebe, but we'll have to see what comes back, of course. So into the final game of the episode then against Liverpool at home. Obviously the replay in the FA Cup. It's going to be interesting to see how we do. We're going to go for this front four, I think, of Ince, Cuenca, Vyman and Vidra. Obviously with Troy Deeney being out for around a month-ish. We have obviously got Will Hughes to grow to an 80-rate player as well. That's quite nice to see, just leaving the January transfer window. Looking at the Liverpool lineup, obviously they've gone for that front three of Mane, Firmino, Coutinho, MFC. I don't know what they're like, you know, as SAS before with Suarez and Sturridge. Don't know if there is one for Mane, Firmino and Coutinho, because they are doing really well at the moment. But nevertheless, into the first few minutes of the match here, ball to the back post to Coutinho, then back inside to Firmino, finds the back of the net in the first 10 minutes. I think it was their first attack on goal. Then they get another attack in. Pretty easy save in the end for Jordan Pickford. A good giant throw to around the halfway mark. And just these first time passes here really did help to open up Liverpool. Obviously not the best defensive team. Demissy bringing the ball forwards here. Then out wide to Thomas Ince. Obviously his father played for Liverpool quite a bit, and he did find the back of the net there to get us back into it. 20 minutes later for obviously Thomas Ince. I think he actually did start at Liverpool. I think as a youth player he didn't actually play a game for Liverpool, but he was like at their club. He does take another long shot here and nearly goes into the back of the net, Karius having to punch it over. Then the last 10 minutes of the match here, Zinchenko bringing the ball forwards, but it did deflect nearly into the near post. And obviously, because it was a replay and it was 1-1 at end of 90 minutes, we do go to extra time. Firmino with a chance there, but Pickford with an equally good save to keep us in the game. Then in the last 5-ish minutes, Weimann, not on much stamina, chips the ball through for Joshua King just off the bench, puts it into that bottom left-hand corner and makes it 2-1 against Liverpool. A really important goal in the end, obviously. In the last, especially a penalty shootout this year, they're really annoying, especially on Ultimate Team when the arrow isn't there. I'm like, what do I do? Do I just shoot and hope for the best? Because that's all you have to do really in penalty shootouts this year. Then we go into the 120th minute, Weimann missing the target, but doesn't really matter in the end, as we do get the 3 points and go through, not the 3 points, we go through to the next round of the FA Cup. I don't know why I said 3 points, but yeah, we win and we're through to the next round. So we're going to have to see who we get in the next episode. Of course, we are closing that gap towards Man United. It's going to be interesting to see how we do without Troy Deeney as well, our mainish striker. He's going to be out for another 3 weeks. Akechi Anya out for 2. Yeah, I think it's been a really productive episode. Obviously, 2 wins in the Premier League and a win in the FA Cup to go through to the next round. So make sure you do smash the like button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and see you soon. Bye.